True wealth isn't just about money, it requires that you actually need these two as well: health and time. Do you want to learn more? Let's get right to it. Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, a channel dedicated to helping the Sandwich generation master money and achieve financial security. When we're young, we have time. We have health, but most of us have no money to enjoy that time and health. And as we get older to our middle age, we have money, more than we had when we were young. And we have health, if you've taken care of yourself. But with all the responsibilities that come at this stage in our life, we have no time. And when we get old into our later stages of life, we have money and we have plenty of time, but now we have no health to enjoy the money and time. So the true wealth is to have all three at once: health, money, and time, simultaneously. So how do we achieve this? Or can we ever achieve this? Is this some phantom pipe dream reserved only for special people? I dare to say no. It'll definitely take work and effort, but I believe we can all achieve this ultimate wealth trifecta. Let me show you how. First, invest in health. This is a personal finance channel, so I speak a lot about investing, saving money, and growing your net worth. However, if you don't have your health, money doesn't mean anything. Paul Clinithi was in his last year of neurosurgical residency at Stanford when he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He wrote When Breath Becomes Air as an autobiography of his experience as a doctor and the patient facing terminal illness. The story was so moving because the terminal illness that Paul faced contrasted so much with the hope of the future that he was looking forward to after completing one of the toughest medical training in the world. In a snap of a finger, his world was turned upside down and he was looking at a completely different reality of the future. We'll never know what life will throw at us. Diligently saving our money and investing for the future is a good thing. It sure beats not having money and living paycheck to paycheck. However, if we take it too far, we can get so obsessed with looking towards the future for our happiness that we can neglect today. And health, unfortunately, becomes an easy scapegoat for many people. Warren Buffett says you have only one mind and one body for the rest of your life. If you aren't taking care of them when you're young, it's like leaving that car outside in a hailstorm and letting rust eat away at it. If you don't take care of your mind and body now, by the time you're 40 or 50, you'll be like a car that can't go anywhere. Yet, how many of us do this willingly? I sure have. I have postponed going to the gym with the excuse that I don't have the time. I sacrifice sleep with an excuse that I need to send off one more email. I have chosen a bag of chips over healthy fruits with the excuse that I need to decompress from work and that I deserve it. But if you're like me and in your middle age between 40 and 60, both of you and I know our bodies are not what they used to be in our 20s. Back then, we could function perfectly fine even after 4 hours of sleep. You do 5 push-ups and you have biceps. We could eat Del Taco for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and we'll be totally fine. Not so much anymore, right? As we invest in our wealth, let's ensure we're also investing in our health. I'm not a health expert, but there are a few practical tips I want to share with you based on what's worked for me. Prioritize sleep. Many of us abuse sleep. And that's because it's one of the most underappreciated activities. It is oftentimes the first item to be sacrificed when other priorities pop up, and many of us don't give it too much thought. However, study after study have shown a direct correlation between sleep and mental performance: slower reaction time, lower concentration, reduced analytical reasoning. Here are a few ways that I've been able to sleep better. Setting a routine sleep schedule and sticking to it both weekdays and weekends. For me, this is being in bed by no later than 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. Watching what I'm eating and drinking close to bedtime. I try not to have big meals at night after 8 p.m. I've noticed my body struggles with digestion and makes it hard to fall asleep. Also, I limit caffeine after 4 p.m. I also eliminate extra light and noise by using eye masks and earplugs. This has been a game changer. After having kids, both my wife and I have noticed we're a lot more sensitive to sleep. By artificially reducing light and noise, I noticed my sleep isn't interrupted as much. Aside from prioritizing sleep, I've also gotten really vigilant about minimizing processed food from my diet. I like to prepare the majority of my food ahead of time. Everything from breakfast protein shakes to simple lunches made of broccoli, chicken, and brown rice. This has really helped me stick to a healthy diet. If you'd like to learn more from an expert, check out my friend Bree's website, Frugal Minimalist Kitchen. She's a registered dietitian and has some great resources around meal planning specifically. The last area of health that has really helped me has been weightlifting. I used to be a runner, but after a decade of beating the pavement from my army days, my knees are what they used to be. Nothing heavy, but regular strength training has really helped me in maintaining a low body fat percentage. In order to reduce the friction of working out on a daily basis, I've actually installed a squat rack right behind me in my home office. This way, I have no excuse for now lifting something on a daily basis. Again, I'm not a health expert, but these are some of the things that I do to invest in my health. I'll be curious to know how you're investing in your health. Please let me know in the comments below. The second arm of wealth trifecta is money. And this is where if you're watching personal finance channels like this and investing in your financial literacy, you're well ahead of the game. And even if you're just starting out to get your finances in order, not a problem. A great way to get started is download my free PDF guide. If you go to financialtortoise.com, you can download a free copy of my Sandwich Generation's Guide to Financial Security, 10 Steps to Securing Your Family's Financial Future. I'll also have a link in the description below. What's interesting is that after having learned to manage my health and my money the past several decades, ironically, managing my health feels a lot harder with time, whereas managing money gets easier with time. With money, once you learn the basics such as budgeting, investing, and protecting yourself with appropriate insurance, the system takes over. In investing, for example, once you have enough money in the market in a good low-cost index fund like VTSAX, compounding takes over and there's actually less work with time. Your fund makes more money while you work less. Health, on the other hand, feels like the opposite. There is no set it and forget it when working out. You have to show up every day and put in the reps. And it gets harder and harder as we get older. Few quick guidelines when it comes to mastering your money that I borrowed from Jill Collins, the author of Simple Path to Wealth. He talks about 3 simple guidelines to mastering money and not having it master you. 1 is to target saving and investing 50% of your income. This sounds a bit crazy when you first hear it, but when you can master your expenses, this is not too far off. Saving must be the core habit that we must master first if we want to achieve financial security. George S. Clason, the author of Richest Man in Babylon, highlights the second cure to a lean purse is to control thigh expenditure. And this comes before making thigh gold multiply. Second is to avoid debt. Jill Collins takes it as far as saying having no home mortgage debt. I personally believe having a home mortgage is okay as long as you aren't living in a home way over your budget and you're financing it with a fixed 15 to 30-year mortgage. But when it comes to any other types of debt, avoid it as much as possible. You can check out my video on Beware of Good Debt here to learn more. Third is to embrace index investing as a core wealth building tool. It's a simple concept, but something that the financial industry works hard to confuse you with. You'll be hard pressed to find investment managers or insurance salesmen eagerly willing to sell you simple products like low-cost index fund. Low-cost index funds don't make much money for financial institutions, but they can make a lot of money for you if you buy them regularly and hold them forever. The third arm of wealth trifecta is time. Like I mentioned earlier, many of us who are in our middle age have money or more money than when we had in our 20s, and we still have our health. Of course, not the agile bodies we had when we were 18, but still in relatively good health compared to our aging parents. But the one thing that many of us struggle with is time. In our 20s, we're in our exploration phase. We're just starting out in our careers. Many of us in entry-level positions were just learning the ropes. It is hard work, but in hindsight, we had a lot more time then than we have now. Now, as we move into our 30s, 40s, and 50s, we become more proficient in our careers. We get more responsibilities. We move into management roles. Whereas before we might have only been responsible for our individual work, we're now responsible for our teams and our departments. For many of us in traditional corporate work doesn't stop on Friday. Being in management is a round-the-clock work. In addition, this is also a phase in our life where many of us start having families, getting married, having kids, and this comes with additional time responsibilities. Whereas in our 20s, we're just responsible for ourselves, we now have kids to take care of, marriages we're investing into, and now as a Sandwich generation, add in our aging parents. They might need additional support because of health or financial issues. Free time feels like a dream now. You have to think really hard about when was the last time you had any time to yourself. I remember vividly the first time I was able to drop both of my kids off at the daycare and coming home to an empty house for the first time in God knows how many years. The house was a mess and I had about 100 things on my to-do list, but I remember just sitting on my couch and staring at the wall for 30 minutes straight because I couldn't remember what silence felt like. We can have all the money in the world, but if we don't have the time to enjoy it, it really means nothing. Of all the things that money can buy, I believe buying back time has the greatest return for your investment. What's the point of having $100 million in your bank account if you don't have the time to watch your children grow up, spend quality time with your spouse, or be with your aging parents at the late stages of their lives? This was one of the biggest motivators for starting my blog and this channel because I've seen firsthand the power that mastering your money can have, especially for the Sandwich generation. When you've mastered money, you open up a door to a possibility of options. It could be working less hours so you can spend more time with your kids. I've thankfully been able to do this, and for the first time coached my son's soccer team this past season. We didn't make it to the finals, but hey, don't blame the coach. Or you can choose to travel the world with your spouse. Check out Millennial Revolution. Christy and Bryce retired from their engineering job at the age of 31 and have been traveling the world since. Mastering money and achieving financial independence gives you the freedom to spend your time as you see fit. There are a variety of ways to achieve financial independence, but here are some common ways. Achieve the 4% withdrawal rate. This is the most popular and widely used strategy. By saving 25 times your annual expenses, let's say $1 million, you'll be able to withdraw $40,000 per year indefinitely based on a withdrawal rate of 4%. This could happen if you save and invest diligently. There are many examples of people who have achieved this. If you're interested in learning more specifically about financial independence, check out ChooseFI. They have a popular podcast and a website with some great resources around financial independence specifically. And make sure to check out episode 186. I heard the guy on there is pretty amazing. Another option is to become a landlord. If you have the time, expertise, and money to invest in real estate, investing in rental properties is another great way to generate passive income on your investments. Check out Bigger Pockets to learn more about real estate investing. Starting a business is another way to achieve financial independence. This option might be the most difficult, but it's certainly an option worth exploring if you have a strong desire to become an entrepreneur. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, but know that financial independence is within your reach if you're willing to put in the work. There you have it, guys. Master money. But don't just stop there. Complete your wealth trifecta by investing in your health and buying back time. To learn why I believe buying back time is so important, check out my video here regarding money and happiness. Thank you again. I'll see you in my next video.